course. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time to be here and to talk with us a little bit. I don't know if of course, you heard about us through STR. Some of you didn't have the chance to meet yet. But I'm Carmo Barba. I'm the general manager of ECMeetings in Portugal. Just to place, so probably you heard about ECMeetings in Malta. It's been there for 23 years, and 5 years ago we decided to open in Portugal. So Mark Gatt, which is our owner, he decided to challenge me to open the office in Portugal, and it's been a great adventure since then. 5 years almost. We're going to be 5 years officially next month, and it's been a pleasure to make this company alive and offer this experience to our clients. We try to be a little bit different from other DMCs. So in terms of, that's why as STR and us, we get along really well because we think in a different way, try to be a little bit out of the box, always try to be sustainable, offer things that you can find on the internet, because we really believe that we need to add value to our clients. If we don't add value in terms of knowledge, in terms of relations, in terms of ideas, you can go to the internet, everything is there in our days. But this is where we invest as in our team. We are a team of 7 people, soon to be 8. Next month, we're going to be 8 again in the office, and hope you like. So today we try to bring you a little mix of a new and sustainable. So one of the things that we did during the pandemic, like a lot of you guys, was try to find new things because we didn't have events. And the part of sustainability was something that we explored a lot during that time, and we keep very alive until today, inside the company, outside the company, and also the ideas to our clients. So I'm just going to share here, if you don't mind. So, once, perfect. Hope you're all seeing.
Yes.
Fantastic. So time to change. Well, there's always time to change in life, but for us, we always try to be a little bit better and leave a little legacy. So what I want to start a little bit about sustainability. So why be sustainable? At the end, there's many reasons, but we want to leave a legacy to the ones coming. We want to make the world a little bit better in all ways. And also, at the end of the day, we want to feel good with the things we do and helping the others. And one thing that I always highlight is that being sustainable, it's not only social. Most of the times people think about the social part, but there's also environmental and economic. And we keep that very alive in our company, that we cover all of them. And there's many ways to be sustainable in our events. We always try to lead by example in our company, and show the clients that always and add value to be a little bit sustainable. We can be sustainable in a little thing, in a medium thing, in a big one, but there's always ways, even sometimes where we don't have budget, to be sustainable if you look things in a different way. Okay, so we can send you that after, but inside ECMeetings, we have internal policies, little things like using recyclable bottles. We have bottles for everyone in the office that we use, and try to use tap water, try to use the minimum of plastic, not to print, a lot of natural light in our office in order to avoid artificial light. Little things like we try to be vegetarian once a week, create workshops within the company of how to be more sustainable, try to avoid a lot to use vehicles and use public transportation to move ourselves aside our events. So, and give that as a legacy. For outside events, for our clients, this is the things we always try to offer our clients. Of course, not always is possible according with the program, with the budget, with the logistics of the event. But again, we have this, for example, these bottles that I was showing you, they are 100% made of wheat, not even plastic. They can be all branded. And when clients are open to that, we provide them to events. And throughout the events, we create points of refilling during the activities, during the meetings, during the meals, whatever you want. We try to use it, the reusable things. We always provide, with preference suppliers that think the same way as us, a circle economy on the restaurants, farm to table concepts, use local suppliers that use unleaded fuel, all these kind of things. that we can put in the event. So when we do illumination, we always, like, for example, with AVs, we only use LED in our days, little things like that. But then, talking about experience and how to be a little bit different. What I'm going to present you now is an idea, a list of things that we do in Portugal. Some of them might be new for you. Some of them you already really know it from other destinations. But I think it's always important to look at events in a different way. I'm going to start with one that we have in Portugal that I personally love a lot, which is a lot of people sell those activities that you collect garbage on the beach, especially in South Europe, where you have a lot of beaches, and then you build pieces with that. This one is a little bit different. I present you here Chico. Chico is a Portuguese artist that has a different mentality about collecting garbage on the beach. So he's a little bit more further than the others. He thinks that every time he collects a piece of plastic from one beach, he's responsible for that piece of plastic for the rest of his life. So when he brings it to his atelier, the only way for that little piece of plastic to leave is with a piece of art. So not anything, there's no other way for that piece of plastic to leave, because if it goes back to a beach or to the garbage, his own responsibility is there, and he's very strong about it. So what do we do with him? So normally when we bring up to 70 people, we can bring guests into his atelier. He explains his mindset, and he invites people to be creative. And creativity is something that is present in our life, from kids from 5 years old until people with 80 years old. And we bring people there to show that one little piece of plastic in this case, or a piece of a material in the world, can have many different ways to be used. And I'm going to show you some pictures of an event we just did last month with him. So basically, we brought guests there, and the idea was to create a Milan, which is a kind of a falcon. And guests had to do this as a team building. And then together after, Chico, which is the artist, he puts the pieces together, plastic, so this can be taken as a piece of art back to the company offices. So the Milan, it's the bird that represents this brand. And teams, they had to be creative, how to use it, how to put it together. And they're going to take it next month. Chico's going to send the one on the left that you're seeing, had it put together, back to their company as a memory of this activity. So this is an example. Another one that we like to do is a lot of cities have bicycle tours that you can sell. In Lisbon, we try to do it a little bit different. So, of course, you're going to have the chance to see the city by bike, being sustainable using electric bikes. But we add a little thing here, which is put a kilometers counter. And for every kilometer you do per bike, you are earning money to donate to a local association. In this case, we think that it's obvious, but we can do tons of associations. But the one we normally use is one that is related with motor accidents. So people that most of the time they are in wheelchairs, especially children, and we support them by giving them more modern wheelchairs or with treatments, whatever they need to have a better life. Another one that we try, again, all the cities have walking tours of the city. So why not do it in a different way? In this case, what we suggest is you see the city, especially downtown, but you do it with different eyes, or in this case, with no eyes. So your job, besides knowing the city and having experience, it's to identify the hazards for handicap in downtown. We have a kind of an app that you upload those, or you collect this information, and then we upload there that information, where there's a step, where can be slide, where there's missing a step in the city. So you are helping to put this information back on the app. For people with disabled issues, they can navigate the city in the better way. Another one that is a partnership with Make-A-Wish. Why not create a wish with your event? We had, for example, a situation here last year that in Lisbon during June, July, and mostly June and July, you have a lot of music festivals. And we had, if I'm not mistaken, it was Ed Sheeran or something that came for a concert, and the entire group went there. It was Rock in Rio Festival. I think it was Rock in Rio. I'm sorry if I'm not saying the wrong name. But anyway, there was one of the kids from Make-A-Wish that his dream was to see Ed Sheeran live. So in here, we suggested that as a part of the activity and with a group, to bring this kid with the group to see the concert. So little things like that. If you have an helicopter tour on the activity, or if you have something little wishes like riding a boat. We had kids that never rode a boat and they wish to be on the boat. So why not have that experience, and you create something and create a magic day for these kids with terminal illnesses. Another one that we like to explore is, because we are surrounded by a lot of nature here in Portugal, even if you're Porto in Algarve, you have the mountains, you have the forest, you have the beaches. Why not do your meetings outdoors? Especially in May, July, we are known by our good weather. Well, to be honest, today we can't promise good weather anywhere because of all these storms and things, but we try to, when we have that possibility, to do meetings outside. So I'll give you an example. After we had a group that after lunch, they were thinking of going to their normal buffet of the conference. And we said, no, this time, here's the backpack with a sandwich, a bottle of water, energy bar, and a piece of fruit. And now you are walking to your afternoon breakout. So they had a 45-minute walk, not even that, very easy, very nice in the middle of the forest. They had a map. So they also had to work as a team because it was a paper map to find their way. Of course, they were all identified in the middle of the forest, and they got to the middle of the forest and they had their meeting set up there. We had the chairs, we had the water, we had the coffee break, we had the flip charts, and they break their barriers in order to achieve their breakouts. So it worked really well, was sustainable, and then they also save money because you didn't have to rent, it doesn't cost to rent a forest like to rent a proper meeting room. Another one that we also do sometimes, it's not with leftovers, but had workshops after meals when you have your meal, but you also have the chance to put together some meals, not cook them, but put together as a box to be donated to the homeless people here in Portugal. You can do it in Lisbon, you can do it in Porto, in Algarve less, but there's a chance also for you to leave a legacy with little boxes with a little bit of love to the people that need some food in Portugal. Then you have this one I love a lot. This works more for conference and for meeting than for, we do it normally with bigger groups, but a lot of people, a lot of times, and how many times you heard this in the past, that inside your corporation, sometimes the best ideas are there. And when you also give, talking about sustainability, normally it's the management that decides how to be sustainable in the company, following international rules. But if you give the chance to your teams or your clients' teams to give you ideas, sometimes there are things that you never thought about it and could be unique. In this case, what we suggest is a Shark Tank, a sustainable Shark Tank. So you, in the afternoon, you do a team building and you divide them, and they have to present to the management their best ideas to be sustainable within the company. And the best project wins, and they get implemented. So we did it 3 or 4 times, with, especially with pharmaceutical companies. We also did with an IT company, and works really well. The client feedback was that he never expected that such a great ideas were present within their team. So this could also be an example. Then you have more standard ones like morning network jogging before you have your meetings or before you have your activities, or perhaps some corporate yoga. So you can go back to the meetings with a better mindset. We also do upcycling workshops. Probably you heard about this one, but this works a lot. We combine them. We had different ways to do it. So you can do it with your team inside the meeting room or in another venue, or you can also do it, we did it with elderly people. So you take the team to an elderly home here, and together with them, you do this workshop. So it's a 2 ways of being sustainable. You are recycling, of course, you're learning to be recycled, but you are also keeping company to these people that spend a lot of time alone. So it's a 2 ways to be sustainable. You can always do activities along the country using electric cars. That works really well to drive from one place to another one. Unfortunately, in Portugal, we don't have electric buses yet. But using the cars, you can be sustainable. You can go to explore different parts of the country that normally people don't explore because they are located for more than 45 minutes from the airports. But there's so much you can explore in the country. And if you do a day trip with electric cars, it works really well, and you're being sustainable at the same time. And then you have the standard ones that people sometimes don't think about them, but they are 100% sustainable, like the sailing regattas that we do in the north, south, and center of Portugal. You have the canoeing that you do normally in the islands in Madeira and Azores, and it's very sustainable in the way you're doing. In Azores, for example, you can swim with dolphins, wild dolphins. So that's another different way. It doesn't work for big groups, but it's very unique and very special and sustainable at the same time. This one I love a lot. I don't know if you heard about it. Some countries do it, but I've been doing it for more than 10 years here in Portugal, and it could be done also throughout the country, which is also a walking tour of the city. And you can do it with a team building element or not, depends how you want to put it. But along the way, you collect pieces of bikes or pieces of a skate or of a stroller, anyway, and you put it together as a team, and then you donate the bikes at the end to kids. We do normally do it as after summer kickoffs because they work as Christmas gifts, and that works a lot as a way to make some kids happy. In Portugal, I don't know if you heard, but we also have a strong case of house poverty. Doesn't mean it's poor people, but a lot, I don't know if you heard, but in Portugal, the wages are not amazing. And especially with the house crisis lately in the last years, people use their money to pay their rents, to pay their medicines, to pay their meals, to support their families, and they leave the house for the end. And we have some situations, even I had it with groups in the city of Lisbon, that you go to the houses, people, they don't starve, they have food on their body, the clothes on their body, but they have infiltrations, they don't have running water, the toilet is not working, things like that should be basic, and they don't have it. So in here, we use this activity. The good thing about this activity, it works for big groups too. The last time we did it for 350 people. And what we did was we went to an elderly home that it belongs to a non-profit association here in Lisbon. And this, trust me, it was in the outskirts of Lisbon near the airport. And it was a big, big house that had 150 old people living there. And they live from donations, and for small amounts, the family pay every month to have the people there. And all that money goes to food and goes to medicines. So these people were living, of course, they had water, they had a bath, but they had old beds. They didn't have any decoration. The walls were in need of painting. The garden where they spent most of the day was full of weeds and completely abandoned. So we divide these 350 people in different teams, and some of them painted the bedrooms. Another one put curtains. Another one put new furniture together. Other ones cleaned the garden and plant flowers in order to give these people a better quality of life. And it worked really well. They leave a legacy that even today, people think, and I still receive messages sometimes of the management there saying that if you ever want to come back, we still have things to be done, but what you did until now was amazing. And you see the people with a smile on their faces and having the chance of making someone happier. It's always good. Then little things, because we are surrounded by water and the beaches, this one works really well. Instead of doing a normal stand-up paddle activity, why not do an early yoga one too and combine both? People are talking about, or you heard about the tuk-tuks in Lisbon, that we have tons of them, but more and more they're becoming electric. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, like 70% of the fleet we have in Lisbon is already electric. And this is 100% sustainable, and it's a great, great way to move around the city and can be used in many, many different ways. You also have the trams. I don't know if you knew, but the trams in Portugal, in Porto and Lisbon, they are electric. So when using them, you're being sustainable. Then you have the standard ones like zero waste workshops, organic farms that you have around the country too, that we can use. So in this case, we can go there in the morning, go to the garden and pick up your vegetables. You can grill them yourselves if you do a barbecue. You can also do wildflower workshops and these kind of things. So again, it's a way of being sustainable and at the same time have fun, which for us is very important. It's all about creating memories when we put events together, right? Standard things that you can do in all your events, no matter what kind of event. One thing is the refood. We have an association in Portugal that is an entire country that every leftovers you have from caterings and restaurants can be donated to be done. Then they come and collect this food, and then they do it distributed in little boxes to people in need. Doesn't need to be homeless, but families, everyone that needs a little bit of food, they give it. You can also do the decor of your events in a sustainable way. For example, the one in the bottom was done by us recently. Actually, I was the artist because one thing is sometimes we have the ideas, but we don't have the partners to do that. And me, together with this client, we have this idea of doing centerpieces with vegetables so we can donate them after. And I asked it to 3 different suppliers, our flower suppliers, in order to see what they can offer me. And none was able to do it in a cost-effective way for our clients and in a nice way. So me and the client, we end up doing this together. And the outcome was really cool. And it's a nice way to bright the table. And each centerpiece had a little card saying that after the event, these vegetables were going to be donated to people in need. We can also complement your events with little things like, for example, we can do the menus in paper with seeds that after they can be planted, and we can do it with different kinds of seeds. It could be in 2 ways. You can give them to your guests and they can plant it back at home, or we can leave it here and we can plant it in a way on gardens, on also of these associations that have gardens that need to be planted. We can do it. Also try to use reusable material or paper if we do picnics or something outdoors that is not a restaurant where we can use porcelain or glass. We always try to avoid the plastic as maximum, and also have this kind of reusable bins that you can do it on your event. We had events that we are carrying them from one place to another in our car, but to give the chance to the guests to recycle along their event. We also have a big range of sustainable gifts that we have in Portugal, things produced locally. Again, being sustainable doesn't mean that it's only things that don't pollute, but also use local suppliers, use organic things. And we have so many different ways to apply these gifts. In Portugal, we have the famous cork that we are the biggest producer, and it's 100% vegetable, and it's used in a very organic and sustainable way. It's produced. You will have soaps. We have this clay bottle of waters that brings tradition. So in the old times, everyone used to carry water on these kind of bottles. We also have the blankets that are done in the north of the country with a specific type of wool that only exists in Portugal. There's many ways for you to give and to be sustainable. You are using local economy, and you're also not polluting more. Then, combined with that, I brought you a little bit of different things new in the country. Because I always have, every time I meet clients, they're saying, so tell me what's new in Portugal. So I try to combine a little bit of sustainable and with what's new. We're going to start with properties. So I chose some properties. Again, there's always different types of properties open in each country, but I try to bring here some of them that can use for different types of events. We start about Lisbon. So why did I brought this one? This one opened last November, but since it belongs to a local brand called Unlock Hotels, that is a Portuguese brand. People don't know much about it. So the Convent Square, it's located downtown Lisbon, and it's an old convent that was totally rebuilt from scratch. So this is a brand new hotel, and it's a great option for incentives, especially if you want to stay downtown. Normally downtown Lisbon, you have 2 issues. Either the hotels are very small, well, 3. Either they are very small, either the rooms are very small, or either they are very expensive. So this one offers something that covers all of them. The rooms are not that small. The hotel is not that small with 120 rooms, so we can take up to to be honest, I never did an exclusive with them yet, but the maximum I took there was 80 rooms, and it worked really well. They have a lot of spaces that they can use. The square, as you can see, we can take it in private. And it's not that expensive, so it could be a nice option. Another one that I wanted to bring you, we're going to finally have a Me in Lisbon. Me is present in most of the European capitals. We're going to have one opening, I say autumn, they say it's October. I don't think it's going to be October, but probably November or even December. But it's going to be really well located near Marquês de Pombal. If you know where the Sheraton Lisbon is, it's close to it, or the Epic hotels. So it's going to be a brand new built from scratch hotel. It's not a refurbishment or anything. And it's going to be a great impact in the city, especially located with connected with the brand Melia. It's going to be a modern hotel, but with a Portuguese touch. So as soon as we have official pictures, the ones we have now mostly are models, but we can send you more information if you're interested about. Going to Porto, I brought you two properties. One of them, it's this Lince Santa Clara. It's an old convent that is located half an hour from Porto. And what I love about this place is that it's kind of a little bit secluded from the confusion of the city of Porto, and also can be used as a private property. They have beautiful gardens around. It's located in a little picturesque village north of Porto. And could be a nice property if you want to do a retreat or if you want to do a product launch, just in exclusive. Works really, really well. And you are always also only half an hour from Porto City. So if you want to have a dinner activity in the city and show the city to the guests, it's also possible. And then, but if you want to go a little bit more modern and you want to stay in the city center of Porto, Altis, it's a Portuguese brand that it's been in the country 50 years, but they have all their hotels. They have like 6 or 7 properties in Lisbon, and they decided to open, that is going to open at the end of this month, their first hotel in Porto. So it's going to be located near downtown, near the river. It's going to be a brand new also property, very modern with a nice look and style. They have a garden in the back. And it's a nice property that you can also take in exclusive if you want, because Porto works for these numbers. If not, could be a nice property. Also, they have going to have meeting rooms. It's going to be really, really nice property. Okay. Then bring it to Algarve. I also brought you 2 new properties. This one, it's the Viceroy. It's going to be the first. I don't know if you know the brand Viceroy. It's an American brand, present a lot in the United States, also in the islands around the United States, Mexico, South, North, Central, and South America. And they're going to open their first property here in the Iberian Peninsula, which is going to be the Viceroy. Hopefully, to be honest, they've been in construction for a couple of years already. They were planning to open during the pandemic, and then pandemic came and things delayed. But finally, they're going to open this summer. It's a small but nice property because of the surroundings. So in terms of hectares, it's huge. It's located in the north of Faro, near Lolé. I don't know if you know the area, in the bottom of the mountains of Algarve. But it's a property that you can easily take an exclusive. Works really well for product launches because of their exterior areas, has tons of restaurants, but as a property is not as big. So it's very easy to take it an exclusive. It's not going to be the new luxury product. I don't know if you know the W Algarve that we have in Algarve, in Albufeira. So it's a very similar style of property, but this one located in the mountains, but very close to the airport. Works beautifully for especially car launches. Then the other property in Algarve that I'm going to bring you, it's Lagos. So Lagos, it's the new upcoming area of Algarve. You had Faro, where you have the airports, and then it started to grow to Quinta do Lago and Vila Moura, that is very famous. After that, Albufeira. After that, Portimão, and Lagos is the next upcoming. The less interesting point about this location is because it's the distance from the airport. It's 45 minutes from the airport, but nevertheless, their marina, it's going to be what they say, the new Puerto Banús of Algarve. If you think about Puerto Banús and Marbella, it's also 40 minutes from each other. But it's the new place where the new brands are coming, the luxury, the golden visas. So everyone is building something in Faro. So it's the new upcoming area of Algarve, if you want to be trendy. In this Marina Lagos, you're going to have two properties from Hilton. I just bought you the 4-star ones, but they're going to have also a 3-star next to each other, part of the same complex. And that could work also for smaller groups or groups that prefer a lower category, even though it's a brand new hotel. So if you want to explore that, let me know, and I'll also send you information about the 3-star property. Then going to Azores. So Azores, it's a personal love of myself, and Sabrina knows that. It's my favorite destination in Portugal. I love even though they have 9 islands, only São Miguel is the island that is prepared for events. It's kind of our European Hawaii. It's pure nature. It's beautiful. And if you want to know more about Azores, just let Sabrina know. I'll send you some presentation, or I am gladly to do a small presentation about this amazing island. But they have a new property open also. That is the Vila Galé collection. Is also an historic building downtown Lisbon. Downtown Ponta Delgada, which is the capital of São Miguel. And it's a big property, which brings, even though Azores, it's not doable for more than 50 people, having this number of rooms gives us more flexibility in terms of availability and also in terms of rates, because they have 182 rooms. Most of the hotels in Ponta Delgada, they are not as big, so it's not as easy to get availability or competitive rates. In this case, you have this add value of being a bigger property. Then, talking about activities, some activities new that we've been doing or we're going to start doing to try to be a little bit different from the others. First of them, we have a new cooking workshop in Lisbon, very, very professional. And more than being professional in terms of installations and facilities, what I love about this place is they really think about what is the outcome you want with the cooking. It's not there just to do custard tarts. So they always want to learn about the company core values. They always try to put in a different way, the more tailor-made possible. So, for example, they bring Michelin chefs to cook with you. They bring, if you want to spend an afternoon cooking for an association to be donate 100% of the food, you can also do that. Each workshop they do, it's totally different, and they always adapt to the client's need. And this is totally ECMeetings DNA. It's tailor-made and reflecting what the client is looking for in terms of outcome. It's not only, frying steaks and doing custard tarts. And that's what I love about them. Another concept that we've been doing that works really, really well is we have a brand in Portugal called Cubo, that they're expert in video mapping. And what they are doing is they are creating these unique video mappings. They do the project themselves to different monuments in Portugal. This one is called Mãe d'Água. It's a water reservoir downtown Lisbon that has a platform, a floating platform over water. This is a 7 meters well. And in the platform, we can take up to 45 people. And the idea here is to offer an immersive experience to all the clients at an affordable cost, because since they have these projects already done and designed, using them, it's not expensive like creating a video map from scratch. So imagine going to this venue, which is made all of limestone, and suddenly while you're having dinner, they click a button and lights go off, and this immersive experience happens. It's a very, very unique, very special. It goes with sound, with lights. It's very immersive, and it's affordable for a special dinner. I'm not talking about a standard dinner, but if your awards deliver or a more special dinner, it's totally affordable and it's very unique. Also works because they have this running during the day as a ticket selling thing. If you want to reserve a slot and exclusive to offer this experience to the guests as a morning activity, as an afternoon activity, is also possible. I did it several times. So imagine doing a tour of Lisbon, and then you end up here, and you just sit them down on the chairs, and then suddenly the experience happens. It's a half an hour, 45 minutes. And then after that, you serve a drink. It's a special way to show them the city and create a wow factor that we are always looking for in the events. Second one, besides the tuk-tuks, and because the tuk-tuks are so already known in Lisbon, we have these Model T replicas, electric replicas coming into the city, and we can use them for do different types of activities also. So if you want to be a little bit different, you can also use them. We also had in the past the sidecars, but sidecars are less and less used because of their pollution rules, especially because they're very vintage. So people, when you want to combine a certain vintage side and being sustainable at the same time, this is the best option. We also have this place. I don't know if you heard about Fado, which is our national music. It's World Heritage by UNESCO also. And Fado has the queen of Fado called Amália Rodrigues. So she was kind like our Cristiano Ronaldo of Faro, if you think about it. You know better. She died already 20 years ago, but her actual house where she used to live, it's now a foundation that invests in this patrimony that we have in Faro. And we have the chance, and it works really, really well, trust me, to have a visit, because more and more people are looking about experience in Portugal and in Lisbon, for example, that are not the touristic ones. The Pena Palace that everyone wants to go, it has massive lines, the Jerónimos Monastery, all those monuments. So this is a history of Portugal, a history of Lisbon. It's not crowded, and we have the chance to have it in exclusive for you. So imagine bringing the group there. We do a visit of the house, which, trust me, is really, really cool. And then at the end, they take you to the house garden, and you have a small fado concert in private just for you with the service of a drink. It works really, really well. It's a 1 hour experience, 1 hour and 10 maximum. And it's a different side of Lisbon that a lot of people don't know. Yeah. Another one that this is a little bit more high end, but works really well, especially if you have clients that are looking for more exclusive experience. Doesn't work for big groups. It works for maximum 30 people, but is the chance of having discovering the Castle of St. George before everyone. So normally the Castle of St. George opens at 9, and we have the possibility of going there early and have a visit of the view of Lisbon, separate from the other guests. Another option that you can have is to serve breakfast there. We can't serve a crazy completed breakfast, but we can do some tables, we can have some food, and people can kind of see the sunrise. It's not already, but the rise of the morning of Lisbon because of the view in the Castle of St. George, if you want. Okay. In terms of restaurants, I just brought you quickly some options that we have recently. We have a new Amphibio that is located near the main square and has great views over the river. It belongs to Miguel Rocha Vieira chef, and it's a nice option either for dinners or for lunches. It works really well, a little bit more high end. I don't know if you heard about José Vilés. José Vilés is our most famous chef. It has 2 Michelin stars. And he opened a new seafood restaurant in Cascais that works really, really well. And the good thing about this, they have an area that could be exclusive for groups up to 60 people, separated from the other guests, and works really, really well if you're looking for good seafood. Rocco, it's a new fancy restaurant. It belongs to Ivan's Hotel, which is downtown Lisbon, but they also do groups up to 30 people, if I'm not mistaken, and works really, really well. It's a different concept, and it's really well located in the heart of Lisbon. Mona Verde, it's located on a rooftop at the main avenue, Rua Castilho, and if you're looking for a rooftop to do a nice experience, this one works really, really well too. You also have, going back a little bit to sustainability, do you know we have a Michelin star restaurant that is 100% vegetarian? Yes. It's located downtown Lisbon, also belongs to José Vilés. It's called Encanto, and it works really, really well for small groups up to 40 people. And imagine, people don't expect, when you think about Michelin star, they don't expect to be 100% vegetarian. I went there the first time last year, and trust me, it was really, really an experience. You don't expect what you see on your plate. So really, really cool. Also, if you've been in Lisbon, you heard about the Time Out Market. So basically, it's kind of a fancy food court located in Lisbon that offers guests to experience the Portuguese food and the food the Portuguese love the most at the same time as exploring the food and vegetables market. They just opened in Porto. Last May, exactly. So the opening was beginning of May, and it's located in São Bento train station. So really well located in the city center, and now you can have this experience in Porto too. Okay. And pretty much that's it. I just want to show you these 2 slides. These slides always go with our proposals, and it's part of our mindset and DNA. You always have options in all the events. It's just a question of working together. Again, we don't like to be a person that puts packages options. We like to discuss with the clients and create sustainable and tailor-made options. But never mind, we are always open. If you have that will, if you have that needs, or if you want to be different also with your final client, feel free to approach us so we can create something together. That's it.